Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's masterclass by Data Analytic Group. It's a pleasure to introduce our speaker, Mr. John Basha, a 9x Microsoft certified professional and Microsoft Fabric super user. Today, he will be guiding us to the topic Level Up Your Financial Reports, Automating Rates with Power Query. Get ready for practical insights on streamlining and automating your financial reporting. If you have any questions during the session, please feel free to post them in the chat box. We will address them during Q&A. Now, let's give a warm welcome to Mr. John Basha.
Thanks, Navya, for introducing me. Hey everyone, my name is John Basha. So, as Navya explained, I have a nine times Microsoft certifications, and I'm a Fabric community super user. I have around 9+ years of experience in business intelligence. So, this is a little bit background about myself. So, shall we start, Rajendra?
Yes, please. People
Okay,
will be
so
get added. You can start. Yeah.
okay, so today's session. So, what we're going to do is, so we want to know how can we automate using a public website? How can we get the data, and then how can we make it as a dynamic information and pull the data into a Power BI and use it in our reporting? So I can give you a little bit background and about what we're trying to do here. So say for an instance, so this is US Department of the Treasury. So if anyone working in a financial services company, so you probably might be aware of this Treasury website because US government will post their daily interest rates in this website, and these interest rates will be every day it will change. And as a consumers of a financial services, any company have to follow these interest rates and then do their calculations and then pay the amounts to the respective persons, whether it is being a bank or exchange or customers directly. So this data is a very important data. We need to keep it by ourselves. So this is a public website it looks like. And in this website, if you go to a data, there you will see daily treasury bill rates. So this is the place where we see the bill rates. So as you just see, as soon as I select this, the default filter is selected as a 2025. And if you see there are multiple options as well, you can select current month and apply. So you will see the rates only for the current month, or if you see it 2025 and click on apply, you will see all the interest rates for the current year. And current we are at 5 by 23. So this is how an interest rates will look like, and it has a different rates, a 4-week bank discount, a coupon equivalent, and same goes with the different weeks. So in any reporting calculations, usually uh, financial services companies require this coupon equivalent of 4 week for every day. So they have to use this as a dynamic way and ingest this interest rate in their calculations. So this is like a static data for now, and every time anyone wants this, they have to daily ingest this interest rates into the reporting, and it's a time consuming and it is a manual uh, task, and it's a tedious task, right? So today we're going to find out how can we automate this, and we only interested in this one, two, three, the first three columns, and also we need to get the latest interest date on every day when we execute a report. For example, if I'm executing the report today, so today -1, which will be yesterday's, I need to get the interest rate of yesterday and use this in our calculations. So this is how I need to do it. So how can we do it? So I will pause here. If anybody interested to do it along with me, you can feel free to do it, as it is a public website. No credentials are needed. Everyone can do it if they have access to this website, and then if they have a Power BI desktop installed in their machines, they can do it along with me. So we'll start now. So When we look into this URL, so this is like a static URL right now, and if you notice at the end of the URL, uh, that value is 2025 because I've selected this. Whereas if I select something like apply as with the current month, it will take the current month 2025-05 as a numerical city is passed. So this is a static one. I want this in a dynamic way so that I don't have to change these values in the URL. So first, let me get this and see what will happen. So I'll copy this URL. I'll go to Power BI desktop. I will use a web connection. I'll paste this URL, click OK. Let's give it a minute. So it is evaluated and it is giving me the results. So when we connect to this URL, this is the default view. It looks like this, and we don't know where this data actually exists. The data what we are looking for. So it's like a not at all in a readable format as well. You see. So say like I select this table one and see what will happen if I click on transform data. So it is showing a date, 20 year, 30 year, and I have a 4 weeks bank discount and coupon equivalent for the same week, right? It has so many unwanted fields as well. We don't want this. So yeah, so anybody can say that. Of course, I can go to the choose columns, choose column. I will select date. I will select this. I will select this. So finally, I'll have a three columns. Anybody can say this, but what will happen? I'll just close on apply. I'll just mention it as a interest rates. Close and apply. So if I check the data, just change the data type of this. Okay, so the data starting from January 2nd, probably January 1st is the holiday. So usually they don't post the interest rates during the holidays and the weekends. So we can see the data for every single day. But the thing is, this is not a dynamic one. This is only grabbing the data for 2025. But in my instance, I need to get the data only for the current month and for the current year. Every time it has to be a dynamic way. So, and this will work only within this year, and next year it is not going to work. So how can we make this as a dynamic way? I will give, I will choose one more option here. So basically we have to use some concepts like uh, we have to split the dynamic part from the URL. So this is a static URL right now. So we need to split this URL into multiple parts, like something for a base URL. So the base URL will be this. This is the base URL. There is no dynamic changes are happening here. So this is where the parameters or field values are being passed to the URL. So this is called a dynamic part, and we gonna strip this out of this URL and make it as a dynamic one by adding a parameters or a variables. And finally we construct this URL by forming a base part plus dynamic part. It will become a fully qualified dynamic URL at the time, and then we will be able to use a dynamic month or dynamic years. So at present, let me add or let me show you how can we pass a dynamic year to this, so that every time when we run this will grab only the current year's data. So For this, I'll open, let me just copy this URL first. So I have copied this same URL, new source, blank query. Click on advanced editor. Let me keep this in double quotes. I will paste here. So this is the base URL. I mean the full static URL. So now I will mention base URL equal to. So this will be a base URL. Copy this. Comma. I will mention a dynamic part. Dynamic part. So we need to fetch the current year in a dynamic way. So current year equal to date dot. So these are all M code functions. We have to know Power Query very well. Dot data dot, sorry, date dot year of. Basically, we need to fetch the current year from the today's date. Date time dot local now. Okay, so this part is going to give us current year. And now let's construct the URL. I mean the variable part. It's called a query string. Query string equal to, again within the double quotes. So we need to continue from where we left off. So this is where we copied in a base URL. So we need to copy this. Let's copy this and insert in the query string. Here we need to make some alterations. So till here type equal to daily treasure bill rates, and that is fine. Field equal to date value equal to, yeah. So this is where we need to replace, instead of mentioning a hard code in 2025, we have to use uh, the variable what we have created here above. So equal to, and so this is the way we have to do it. Text dot from here, we need to call the variable we just created, current year. Yep. So that's that. Let me remove this as we don't need this anymore. So we have a base URL. So just for the fun of it, I'll mention this is a base URL. Base URL. Okay, we have a base URL. We have a dynamic part, and we have a current year variable. And finally, query string is there. And what next? So the next item is to use a functionality in Power Query, which is called web.contents. So using this web.contents, we will be able to join or construct the whole URL into one. So for that, let's define the actual source now. Source equal to web.page of web.contents of, we need to call this above strings base URL, comma, square bracket, relative path equal to query string. And okay. Okay, let's make sure everything is right. So yeah, web dot page, web dot contents of base URL and relative path. So we have to be very careful. The Power Query is a case sensitive. So relative path and query string. So we have to copy the exact name. Base URL, yes. Okay, everything is fine. Now we have to specify the data, what data you want. Data equal to source, source of the first one, which is 0, and then we mention the data. So let's see what will happen if I use it as it is. Some unexpected errors. So let's figure out what are these errors. Okay, yeah. So after the data, we haven't specified what data we need. So we have to mention here. So data. mm, Okay, so we need a coupon equivalent and then 4-week coupon equivalent. So these are the two columns we need, right? Let's go. So is anybody doing along with me?
John, if possible, can you please post that link in chat? Public
Sure.
website.
Oh yeah, sure, sure. I should have posted it earlier. There you go. Okay. So just to save your time, I already created a blog in a Power BI community. So this is the same blog here. So I have explained clearly what needs to be done. So just for the fun of it, let me just copy this entire Power Query code. I'll paste it here. So here you see, after the data, we have to specify the columns what we needed. So these are the columns I need, and then I specified I only need these columns so that it will ignore all of the columns. So click on done, and you see, so everything starting from, so here I have a filter as well. So I'm only considering this financial year in India. So after the April, so after the March 31st, I'm filtering out everything. So you can see the data since then. So if I refresh it, I can see till today, till yesterday. So this is something we can, change this as we are trying to change this into a percentage because this is a percentage, this coupon rates, so that we can go back to our POC DAX and convert this into an actual percentage. So interest rates dynamic. So currently this is a dynamic way to get the data within the same year. Once it loads, I can convert that percentage into an actual readable percentage. So here. So coupon equivalent 4.31. So, and I have to use one more column. divided by 100. So this is the actual percentage. So in my table, I can have this for each date. What is the interest rate? I can show this in a table. There you go. So, and we can use this any tables within the reporting by using this date column. We can have a relationship between the actual fact table to this interest rates table by using date, and we can get the date. We can get the latest interest rate on any given date. We can even go back to previous days and see the calculation of what was the interest rates. And in the same way, if you want this data to be dynamic, you can add one more filter for a month score. So here, just like how we are fetching the date, fetching the year from the current date, you can do the same thing. You can get the current month from the current date. You can add one more variable. You can construct the URL again. You can mention the month, and you can get this data in a dynamic way. So this is how we have to do it using a Power Query. I've explained the same thing here in a document. This is the blog I've created in a Microsoft community. You can also refer to this. Let me ping this as well in the chat. So yeah, so that's it. So I figured I took less time than the anticipated time. So any questions so far?
Not yet. Maybe we can continue. Yeah.
Mhm. I think that's it from my side, Rajendra. So this is how we can get these dynamic rates.
Okay. So, if possible, can you please showcase? I mean, that is the current year which you are projecting, right? Maybe if
Yeah,
they want to see the complete data from that website, how can it pull? What are
the
the changes
complete,
that we need to do in the query editor?
uh, like we don't have to use, so currently I've specified somewhere, uh,
You
I
mentioned
only,
some static
Mhm,
2025,
mhm,
correct?
correct.
Hmm.
So here, this is the dynamic one. So I
Hmm.
mentioned this is the current year 2025. So if I take this off, I will get uh, all the years of data. So entire historical interest rates from the same
Hmm.
website. And that will be
Okay.
too much of information. So either you can keep it or you can ignore it. But if you want to change it, so this is the place you can change that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you please suggest something on the
Mm.
query editor part to, I mean,
Mhm.
like to well verse on it? Any guidance on it from your side?
Um, so it's a basic concept. We can easily understand, this URL, constructing the URL, adding a variable. You can
Hmm.
correlate it as a SQL query. So if you take a SQL query as an
Okay.
example, so this is like a where clause. So in the where
Hmm.
clause, we are specifying, okay, in this query, add this is the where clause and filter the data for only current year. So like that. So if you can understand in that way, this is the only thing you need to remember. This is how we need to construct a URL in Power Query using a web.contents. So that's it.
Okay.
But if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer, maybe through chat or through LinkedIn or anywhere.
Yes. And a small query from me. I mean, you mentioned source of with the curly braces zero, right? Is there any
Yes.
specific reason to pull or else what it is the meaning?
So source of zero in the sense, it currently when we mention, we have to mention a source, but currently
Hmm.
the source is coming from a web.content. So that is where
Okay.
the web.content is coming from data. So we are just
Correct. Correct.
ignoring this. So this is not
Oh,
doing anything, but we have to mention source in a Power Query. The
mhm,
actual source comes from a data, and data is defined here.
mhm. Got it. Understood.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, John. Thanks. Sashi, do you have anything? Shashi, you there? Maybe John, just try to explain that data profiling you added, right? That bars, column category, column distributions, and so on. Is that
Mhm.
possible to can you explain that? I mean, how it is and
Uh,
how it is going to work?
yeah, correct. So
Yeah.
this is a Microsoft feature to understand this is called a column profiling. So
Mhm.
the column profiling will help us understand easily. These are like a straightforward stats to understand what is happening within this column. And if you check this, it has zero errors. Okay, so check for 4 weeks bond. It
Okay.
has a five distinct values because the
Hmm.
interest rates are not varying that much. Only five times the interest rates have been changed. So that's why you see five distinct and zero unique. And here
Correct.
as well, you see five distinct. So the column profiler.
Only unique.
Correct. So you go to view, you will see the column quality, column distribution, and column profile. So if I turn this off, basically you don't see anything. So if I enable column quality, you'll see the quality. How is the quality? So 0% empty,
Correct.
0% errors. So it means my columns are good. Next one is column
Okay.
profiling. So I want to see the column profile and I selected the date and the total how many rows you have 38 rows. Out of that, the minimum is this, the max is this, the average is this. Whereas I select this, again 38 rows, 5 distinct values. The minimum interest rate is 5.2 and the maximum is 5.25. On an average, it is showing for 4.23. So the column statistics is easily help us understand what is happening within our columns without putting much efforts. The third one is a column distribution. So in the column distribution, we will understand how it is distributed, how many uniques and how many blanks and how many distinct values are there. So this is a Microsoft feature, which was really a great feature I always use to understand what is happening in my data points.
Okay. I have one more interesting. I mean, I just want to curious to know about you because I'm also into the Power BI. So, can
Okay.
you enable in your real-time work on all these three features, or only the column quality is? You can just go with the column quality.
Yeah. Column quality.
I mean, like you are going to
Uh,
enable only this feature, or when you want to
uh,
see the proper data, you want to
uh-huh.
enable other two also, or else only the column quality is
Mhm.
fine for you.
So in my case, I want to enable all these three so that I can always understand these statistics in real time before
Oh,
I apply, close and apply so that I can have a
oh,
better judgment on what is happening within this table. I always enable these three. That will
okay.
be useful.
Okay, then only you can see the how the data looks like and
Correct.
statistics, those information.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So if you don't enable this, you won't be able to see this. So
Okay.
I suggest everyone to use this feature by within the Power Query itself before you know, go to the actual data modeling.
Yes. Nice, nice. Thank you. Yeah. Shashi, do you have any queries?
Yeah, sir. How this efficient in this security field, sir? How the data is
So
secure?
this is a public website. So even in your gateway connection, you don't need to specify any credentials. You can use anonymous as a as a authentication. So you see the same anonymous method you can use in your gateway as well. So this is a public website. We don't have to worry about any security.
Okay, sir.
Clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm happy to answer any of your questions. So feel free to reach out to us, Data Analytic Group, or reach out to me via LinkedIn. So that's it.
Yes, sir. 1 second, sir.
Okay.
So thank you for joining us for the daily interest rates automation session. We hope you found the insights and hands-on experience with Power Query valuable. Special thanks to our expert speaker, John Basha, for sharing his knowledge and expertise. Stay tuned for more exciting session from Data Analytics Group. Follow us updates in YouTube, Instagram, and WhatsApp. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you so much for speaking at our group. Thank you. Have a nice day. Yeah.
Thanks everyone. Have a good day.
Thanks for your
Happy
time. Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah. Yeah. Bye.